pieces together that aren't the right shape. And thinking about how we can maybe talk with the young person about this is what the group is, this is what it's like. You can come and watch, or you can listen and not say anything, or see if it's the right thing. And if it's not the right time now, you can come back to us when it is the right time, and we'll be here when that happens. That's not always possible, but again, if we're trying to design and deliver our services in a relationally focused way, that would be something we would strive towards always, is that kind of availability and flexibility. So that if it's not right now, that doesn't mean it won't be next year. So can we be available then?
Thank you. Yeah, that's brilliant. Thanks.
Good luck, George. Any other reflections on the breakout rooms, or questions on any of the stuff that you've heard or been thinking about in response to the material presented today? No problem. Thanks, Angela. I've just noticed, Ruth, you've popped in that you meet young people at home or where they feel safe, and then gradually introduced to a group in their time when they're ready. Yeah, a lovely example of that sort of flexible practice.
I think as well, it's like, because what we know through youth work is a barrier to participation for any young person, let alone a young person with trauma or somebody who's neurodiverse, is that going somewhere where you don't know anyone, that's a barrier. Going into a new place, new sounds, new smells, new everything is a barrier. So we go and meet the young person where they are and where they're at, and we tell them all about it. We sometimes take videos of the venues and we show them those. We do anything and everything we can to help remove the barriers to participation, and it is that sort of multifaceted way of giving information to children and young people, because they need it in lots of different ways. And recently we had a young person whose mum was like, no, she's not getting involved. I was like, okay, I'll try this, and I sent a WhatsApp video, and then I met her daughter last week. And it's because we just did it slowly, and then it was like, yep, no, she's got used to the idea of you now. So I've met with her, and now she's going to potentially join our adoption youth councils that we run. And again, when we're talking about the voices of children and young people, the youth councils are all about, they're fired up and ready to sort of like change the world. And the world for them at the moment is the adoption world. So they're working with sort of all sorts of different professionals in making sure that that happens. But I think, yeah, it's about removing barriers to participation in any way we can. And with technology, it's not necessarily that young people are all over social media, because our young people aren't. So that's why things like WhatsApp videos and stuff are really helpful. But yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if I think back to that circle graphic and people going out there in the world and then coming in when they need us, if we think about services as being hands on the circle, so often what we're doing is putting up multiple fences on the journey back in. You know, you have to meet these referral criteria, you have to sit on a waiting list for this long, you have to attend in this context, in this place that might involve getting 2 buses or whatever it might be. So anything that we can do that just increases ease of connection and ease of access absolutely kind of speaks to this stuff. It's about making those relationships easier to have with services and with professionals.
Should we just check in if see if Emma is ready to show us something?
Yeah, great.
And don't rush if you need a bit more time, but just sort of check in and see if you're on your way to being able to show what you've got.
I'm ready.
Brilliant. Should we have a look?
Damn technology.
It looks wonderful.
Last section.
Really great.
We're going to have to print this off and stick it on the wall, Matt.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Emma.
Thank
That is
you.
an absolute talent to be able to do that. Those graphics, from my understanding, will be made available, won't they, after this? So if people want to kind of have a copy that they can just refer back to, or if they're sharing things with colleagues back in work, that should be made available as well.
Absolutely.
And is it something we can share with parents as well?
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. All of
'Cause
these,
It sort of really sums up all what we do in our service. It's like, oh, look, there it is.
yeah,
Brilliant.
they're there to be shared. That is what it's for.
Excellent.
And the more we can get this information out there, like you know, in the resilience clip, if you put the science in the hands of the people, they will invent wise solutions. So let's share it far and wide if at all possible.
It's child friendly. That's what I like about it as well. It's so colourful.
Yeah. And it's that multi-layered way that you were describing earlier of making everything accessible, as accessible as possible.
I shared earlier in the chat the link to our collaborative website, which will show you lots of other visual illustrations from previous events. And you're all more than welcome to follow us on that page or to take copies from that page of some of the other events as well.
And it just reminds me, Helen, about an hour or so ago, someone asked if they could have copies of the videos, clips we were shown. So I'll send you, Helen, just all the YouTube links for all the videos. So if you've got some way of perhaps either emailing that out or putting that on the page you just said, that'd be fab.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks, Matt. I've just shared as well in the chat the last 2 Mentimeter questions. I'm just conscious people are starting to leave now for the end of their days, and it'd be great if they could answer those before they leave us.
Thank you, Helen. I love that, Tina. Fab. So if people are able to just click on the last 2 Mentimeter questions.
I've just discovered one of my other teammates is in this as well, so I think we'll both be sticking it up on the walls in my office. So it shows how many of us have been in this meeting that I didn't even realise colleagues were here.
Yeah, that is the hard thing about Teams, isn't it? Oh, there we are. I thought there was an issue with the link. If anyone's struggling with the link, maybe just click again and see if it works this time.
Is it just the one question, Helen?
Can I mention something as well, please?
Of course.
Not that I want you to see me on TV, mind. It's a Welsh programme, Dechrau Canu, Dechrau Canmol, which is a Sunday singing programme, hymns in a church or whatever. It's on Mothering Sunday, and myself and my son are on it. The programme's about us, actually. Me being the side of not being able to have children and conceive myself, and being able to go through the adoption process, and my son talking about being adopted, and then talking about fostering. So if you want to watch it, I don't know if there's subtitles or anything, but if I can help anybody out there, I will, you know, so hopefully you'll all enjoy. I'm looking fat in it, is the only thing.
I'm sure you're not, and thank you so much, and I will definitely be having a look at that. Thanks, Megan, for flagging that up for us. It sounds fantastic.
Well, it's nice to have the two sides of the story, you know, absolutely, for people who are childless, and then you don't have to be childless, and then the other side of being adopted and what it was like for Tian, being brought up adopted. So it's good. It's good. So thank you. And
Yes,
thank you for today.
lovely,
It's been
lovely theme
wonderful.
for Mothering Sunday.
Yeah.
A different layer to it, doesn't it? It's not
Yeah.
always an easy day.
No.
Thank you so much for filling in this one, you guys. What is an amazing thing to see is that one of the biggest words in the middle there is empowering. That was absolutely our hope. You know, these are ideas that we just want to bring and share and see how they land. And if any of them fit for you or feel useful to you, take them and run with them and ask us for further details if that would be helpful, and we'd be more than happy to provide. You know, the message is absolutely that of people are the thing that are most important, and each one of us can play that role. Fantastic.
And I'll just share the last Mentimeter.
There's always a final hurdle, Helen.
It's coming. Wow.
Amazing. That's fantastic, you guys. And I just think the kind of range of things, different things have really resonated for different people, which is absolutely what we would hope for. You know, Circle of Security is front and center for me too, because it just distills down so much complex stuff into something that just feels so easy to think about and apply personally and professionally. So I'm glad it resonated for you guys too.
Lynn, before we move on, we've got two hands raised. I'm not sure if they've got questions.
sorry.
We've got Hayley Abraham and Victoria. I'm not sure.
Hayley?
That's a legacy one.
There we go. Thank you.
Hang on, no, sorry, are you asking me something?
On our screen, you're showing us your hand is raised. I don't know whether you
Oh,
have
I think that's a legacy hand. No, sorry, forget
No
it.
problems. I just want to make sure
No
the answered you.
There we go. I'm conscious of time, and I am aware of how much time and energy it takes to stay focused on a screen for this long on a Friday at the end of a busy week. So thank you so much to all of you. We were very daunted when we thought about doing this presentation on Teams to this number of people, and it hasn't felt like a massive faceless group of people at all. It's felt like a really lovely conversation. So thank you everyone for bringing yourselves to that. It's made all the difference to us. Genuinely, if there are particular things that you would find helpful to have more of from things we've referred to today, please just pop it in the chat and we'll try and put responses in that chat, which will stay open beyond the end of this meeting. So we'll try and provide some more resource in there when we can. Liz, Matt, is there anything else you wanted to add before we finish?
I don't think so. Say that again, sorry, Lynn.
That turned into Prezi video on my screen. Oh, you're back.
Just echo what you're saying, and it's just been absolutely fantastic to be with everyone today. Thank you so much for coming. And yeah, I really was expecting it to feel like just kind of speaking out into the nothingness, but it's very much felt that you've been with us today, and it's just been wonderful to hear all your stories, see all your faces, and just yeah, hear from real people. It's just been wonderful. Thank you for coming.
Almost like being in a room, imagine.
I'm actually absolutely delighted. I think the trusted adults is such a central aspect of the Nest framework, and to have a session that really brings it to life, and it's that making the complex doable and simple is the bit that I really have loved about today, that we've all got the power to make that difference.
Thank you, Liz, and thank you to all of you, and Helen and Emma in particular for absolutely propping us up with the technology and such beautiful drawings. Shan?
That was a mistake. I meant to clap to say thank you. Sorry.
No problem, you can high five us as well.
Oh, thank you very much. Diolch yn fawr.
Diolch yn fawr, everyone. Have a
Diolch yn
lovely
fawr.
weekend, and
Thank you.
it was lovely to be with you today. Take care.
Oh,
Brilliant.
and you've forgotten something. Come on, Wales.
Oh, yes.